Okay, this is one of the darkest turns in Judah's history. After the godly reign of Jehoshaphat, his son Jehoram becomes king and everything collapses, okay? Oh yeah. So Jehoram is one of the worst kings in the dynasty of David. This chapter shows how one evil leader can corrupt an entire nation and how God responds when a Davidic king abandons him completely. The first part of the chapter covers Jehoram becomes king and murders his brothers. Oh my god. Jehoram is Jehoshaphat's oldest son. When he takes the throne, he killed all his brothers with the sword and also some of the princes of Israel. Okay, so why? Because his brothers were good and the people loved them. He wanted absolute power. This is already a sign of a spiritual collapse. He destroys his own family to secure his throne. Okay, the second part of the chapter covers Jehoram. Yeah, Jehoram. It's Jehoram. Walks in the ways of Ahab. Jehoram marries Ahab and Jezebel's daughter, a consequence of Jehoshaphat's alliance with Ahab. The result, he did evil in the eyes of the Lord, okay? He leads Judah into idolatry just like Israel. But God does not immediately destroy him because of his promise to David, which is, the Lord was not willing to destroy the house of David because of the covenant he had made with David. Even when the king is evil, God's covenant faithfulness remains intact. The third part of this chapter covers Jehoram leads Judah into spiritual adultery. Jehoram builds high places and leads Judah into idolatry, unfaithfulness, spiritual prostitution. Because of this, God allows Judah's enemies to rise. Adam rebels. Adam had been under Judah's control, but now they break free. Jehoram tries to fight them but fails. Judah's dominance begins to crumble. When a leader abandons God, when even long-standing blessings slip away. The fourth part of the chapter covers Elijah sends Jehoram a letter. This is extraordinary. The prophet Elijah, who mostly ministered in the northern kingdom, sends a prophetic letter to Judah's king. The letter says, "You have not walked in the ways of your father Jehoshaphat, but in the ways of the kings of Israel." Because Jehoram killed his brothers and led Judah into sin, the Lord is about to strike your people, your sons, your wives, and everything that is yours. And personally, you yourself will be very ill with a horrible disease that will cause your bowels to come out. Oh, Jesus. Elijah's letter is God's final warning, but Jehoram does not repent. The fifth part of this chapter covers foreign armies invade Judah. The Lord stirs up Philistines, Arabs to attack Judah. They raid the palace and carry off Jehoram's sons, his wives, his treasures, and only the youngest son, Ahijah, is left alive. Jehoram tried to secure his dynasty by killing his brothers. Now God takes away his sons. The sixth part of the chapter covers Jehoram's horrible death. Jehoram is struck with the disease Elijah predicted, a disease of the bowels that lasted 2 years. His intestines eventually come out, and he dies in great suffering. Whoa. Okay, that should be terrible. The verdict of the people, he passed away to no one's regret. No national mourning, no honor. He is buried in Jerusalem, but not in the tombs of the kings. Jehoram is the first king of Judah denied a royal burial, a sign of total disgrace. But what are the lessons from this? Let's take a look at them. One weak leader can ruin generations. That's the first lesson. Jehoram brought his spiritual, political, and moral collapse in few years. Second lesson, unequal marriage matter. His marriage to Ahab's daughter corrupted his entire reign. Third lesson, God disciplines leaders who mislead his people. Foreign invasions, family loss, and wilderness flowed from his rebellion. And wilderness all flowed from his rebellion. Fourth lesson, God keeps his promise even when people fail. David's covenant prevented Judah's total destruction. Fifth lesson: a life lived for self ends and regret, or no regret at all. Jehoram is a king no one mourned. In summary, Jehoram murders his brothers, leads Judah into idolatry, and rejects God completely. Elijah sends a prophetic judgment, invasion, loss of family, and a terrible disease. Everything Elijah predicts comes true, and Jehoram dies dishonored and unloved, proving that a king who abandons God destroys himself and his kingdom.